Welcome to this episode of Sitecore in 300 Seconds Plus. My name is Rob Horton. I work as a solution engineer at Sitecore. In this episode, I'm going to provide deeper insights into Sitecore Email Experience Manager and Marketing Automation and showcase how it works. If you're interested in a shorter overview, please watch my 300 Seconds episode. To recap and expand upon the 300 Seconds video on this topic, the Sitecore Experience platform is amazing at engaging and converting customers while they're on the website. But brands need to be able to engage with customers through other touchpoints to communicate key information from the brand and, more often than not, drive the customer back to the website. One of the key channels to do this is email, and behind every great email campaign is customer data and marketing automation. Though gone are the days of people achieving inbox zero. To cut through inbox noise, people have to want to read your email or even actively seek it out before they'll open it. And the reason they'll do this is because what you sent them is relevant and timely to them. It needs to balance what you want to tell them with what they've told you they want to hear and when they want to hear it. Now, when I say they've told you what they want to hear, I'm not talking about the fact that they gave you an email address and permission to send them an email. I'm not referring to the checkboxes they ticked for the content preferences, which are often only relevant for a very limited time frame and rarely updated. I'm talking about listening to what their granular behavior from every interaction across the channels is telling you, and this is why Sitecore's Email Experience Manager and Marketing Automation is so powerful, as it taps into the wider analytics capability of the Sitecore Experience platform. So now I want to take you on a journey stepping into the shoes of Izzy, our customer, and your shoes as a marketer to see both how her experience is enhanced and how we enhanced her experience. Today we'll go into detail on the four main pillars in the Sitecore Experience platform which deliver and automate personalized, dynamic, targeted and timely email campaigns to your audience of many or your audience of one. We'll see how we learn about our subscribers from their web interactions even before they were a subscriber, then capture their details when they're ready to subscribe. We can create granular segments to define our campaign targeting, then craft highly personalized emails with A/B testing capabilities and automated send-to-winner deployments. We then tie these together into orchestrated marketing automation campaigns where we can personalize not just the email content, but which emails they receive and when by listening and reacting to their behaviors. And finally, we can analyze to check what's working and identify potential areas of improvement. First, learn. As we introduced earlier, we have the ability to learn about and from the customer well before they decide to give us an email address. Sitecore's rich web analytics is already listening to all their behaviors on the site, aligning them to personas, segmenting them, and ultimately determining where their interests align. Let's see this in action with Izzy. Izzy is on the website and today she's interested in some articles. She enjoys getting out and about on her bike and clicks to find out how she can take that to the next level. Based on the content Izzy is interacting with, Sitecore Experience Platform has aligned her to two behavioral persona patterns across two profile categories: fitness fanatic in health focus, and on the go in health location. Sitecore's native forms capability provides you with a modern drag and drop form builder to create forms and place them within the pages you're building or managing. Izzy enjoyed the content and is now presented with a simple form where she can subscribe to receive emails from Lighthouse. By capturing her email address, we also now know it's actually Izzy on this device, so we can associate all the current and historic interactions and behaviors to her specifically in Sitecore's Experience database, which stores all visitors and their behaviors, both known and anonymous. Last and definitely not least is the ability for emails from Sitecore's Email Experience Manager, EXM, to identify your customers across the devices they use. As a subscriber clicks through from an EXM campaign, the device is automatically identified without the subscriber having to provide any explicit data like Izzy did previously via the form. Now all the interactions past and present on the new device can be merged into her identified profile with interactions and behaviors from potentially many other devices. This is key for so many brands where there isn't a need for a visitor to log in or identify in some way on the website, so you end up with a huge database of anonymous web behavior. This is still powerful for driving personalized web experiences in Sitecore Experience Platform, but the data is trapped in the web channel. By starting to send emails from EXM, we can convert much of the anonymous data to known profiles, merging together multiple devices and unlocking the data for synchronization with other channels and platforms. Izzy is now on her tablet, where earlier she had been reading an article about smart appliances. On her tablet, she's aligned to the product interest of appliances, but we don't actually know it's Izzy yet. She then checks her inbox and sees the first email from Lighthouse with her content that's been tailored to her, and she clicks through on the cycling adventures. As she clicks through, Sitecore Experience Platform identifies Izzy and ties all of the history on her tablet into her existing desktop profile, giving us a more complete picture of Izzy on each device and as a whole. So we saw how Sitecore Experience Platform was able to learn about Izzy from her interactions with the website, even before she subscribed, then use those learnings to personalize her email experience, driving her engagement. We then presented her with a simple form to provide her details and subscribe. Her data was saved directly into Sitecore Experience Platform, combined with all the tracked behavior from her current interaction and any previous interactions. There was no need to extract, transform, and send this data off to another platform and location, saving on integration and management efforts. Then, not only were we able to capture Izzy's cross-session behavior and data on her PC where she subscribed, but as she clicks through on other devices, we were able to tie the behavior, past and present, from those devices into a single, unified profile, giving us a complete view of Izzy's cross-device and cross-channel behaviors. Now that we know our audience, we can start to craft email communications that are relevant to them, as relevancy is one of the key ways to cut through the noise that exists in most people's inboxes these days. Let's create a segment to target Izzy and the other fitness fanatics like her. We can add existing segments we've already created, and if we edit it, we can see how we can create targeted segments from all the web and email behavioral data Sitecore has collected and combine that with any profile data the subscriber has supplied or exists from other integrations with CRM and other systems. Sitecore gives you a starting point of over 100 rules to select from and combine to define your target audience. Saving our segment then shows us a preview of the subscribers we're targeting, and we can validate our selection by searching to ensure we selected Izzy as expected. Creating an email in Email Experience Manager is a few simple and guided steps, making it easy to create highly personalized, dynamic email campaigns. First, we're able to configure the campaign name and sender settings. We then move on to defining our audience, where we'll target our Fitness Fanatics segment we defined earlier. Then we craft our subject line and design the content of the email itself using a WYSIWYG editor that offers a consistent experience with designing for the website. We'll add a new component from our tailored library to insert a hero article promoting our website article on yoga fundamentals into the body of our email. Note that we're able to pull web content directly into our email campaigns without having to reauthor it. We've now built the default static version of our email campaign, but the content we have isn't going to be relevant to everyone, so let's look at how we can make this an email that everyone will seek out in their inbox. First, let's actually say hi to Izzy by simply selecting the first name token from the list and adding it to the subject line. Now, Izzy hasn't indicated an interest in yoga, she prefers to be on the go. So let's target some relevant content to Izzy and others like her. We click on our component, then click Personalize, which allows us to define pairings of targeting criteria and content to define our dynamic content. We'll add in a block for our on-the-go audience, then open up the rule builder, and target anyone in the health location category who matches the on-the-go behavioral pattern. We then select the content we want to show to our on-the-go audience, in this case, our intense cycling workouts. Once defined, we can then easily toggle between our audiences to see what they'll see when they receive the email in their inbox. Now, you might be asking, what's the uplift of implementing personalization and dynamic content? And we can easily test this ourselves by running an ABN test between a static, personalized, and personalized dynamic version of our campaign. As a simple example, we'll create an additional variant and remove the personalization from the subject line so we can determine if it does drive increased open rates or not. Now that we've created our email campaign, it's time to deploy it out to our subscribers. As we've configured an A/B test, we can select the initial audience subset we want to deploy to, then set the time we want to monitor for success, highest open rate for our test, before Email Experience Manager automatically deploys the winning variant to the remaining audience. We can schedule it to send straight away, at a date and time in the future, or on a recurring basis. We were able to create granular audiences from the rich cross-channel data, so our campaigns were targeted to only those that would be most interested in the campaign. We were guided through the email creation with a user-friendly WYSIWYG designer that's consistent with the editor we use for the website. We were able to click on components and define rules to personalize content to make every email relevant to each subscriber and increase engagement. And finally, deploy our campaign now, in the future, or on a recurring basis. If the scheduled campaign included an ABN test, we were also able to test and learn by sending a portion of our deployment, monitoring success, then automatically deploying the winner to the remaining audience to drive the best possible performance. Now, creating and deploying a batch campaign is great in certain scenarios, but more often than not, the most impactful email campaigns are the ones deployed on the subscriber's schedule, not yours. I mentioned relevancy was one of the keys to cutting through inbox noise. Well, timing is the other key ingredient. Communicating with the customer when we detect they're engaging with our brand and giving them content relevant to what they're engaging on is going to help us get to a point where a customer is actively seeking out your emails in their inbox, driving them back to the website, and ultimately converting on the goals you've laid out for them. The first step is defining who should be enrolled in our marketing automation campaign and when. So let's look at how that first email made its way into Izzy's inbox. This is the Marketing Automation Builder with all the stages on the right and the main canvas on the left. If we click on the Start stage, we can see some of the various options for enrolling profiles into our campaign. We can schedule a recurring enrollment on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. We can define complex targeting criteria from the hundreds of rules Sitecore offers if we want to define some specific or granular targeting. Or, and what you'll likely use most often, is listening for goals, events, and outcomes being achieved on the website. In our case, we want to listen for the subscribed to email goal, which is attached to the form Izzy completed. Once in the campaign, we can then trigger specific campaigns relevant to their interactions and further increase the relevancy with dynamic personalized content. In this campaign, we're first going to add the profiles to our Lighthouse subscribers mailing list. Then we'll click on our Send Email stage and select our first subscriber welcome email and apply. Many campaigns will be trying to drive a specific action back on the website, and we can hold the subscriber for a period of time while we listen for the completion of that action or goal. After the first email, Izzy went into our email engagement listener, which holds her for a defined period of time, 3 days in our case, or until she clicks or opens the email campaign. If she didn't engage within the 3 days, she'd progress down the no path. But Izzy already opened her first email campaign, and as soon as she did, she progressed down the yes path, into a standard delay stage which held her for a day before releasing her to receive the second email in this campaign. That second email is trying to drive Izzy to create an account with Lighthouse. and Izzy is now held in another listener stage, which is listening for that register goal to be triggered on the website. Here Izzy is in her inbox, but she hasn't opened the Create an Account email yet. She's reading through the newsletter and sees the cycling workouts article that was targeted to her and clicks through to read more. On the page, she sees a banner prompting her to create an account. Unbeknownst to Izzy, she's seeing this banner because Sitecore Experience Platform knows she's sitting in the Created Account listener stage in the marketing automation campaign. This means she hasn't opened the email campaign, so we've decided to echo and reinforce that messaging in her web experience. She clicks, then completes the registration form, which triggers the registered goal. Back in our automation campaign, Izzy will progress down the yes path. If she hadn't triggered the goal within the 3 days, she'd progress down the no path and be sent off to a dedicated marketing automation campaign aimed at driving account creation. Marketing automation campaigns are not just limited to sending emails. We can also increase their engagement value scores as they show engagement at certain points, or take pattern alignments to the next level, increasing weightings as we further refine their interests through a campaign. Whether the message was received on the website or in the inbox, Izzy converted on both the engagements we were listening for, first engaging with the email channel, then registering for an account. In Sitecore Experience Platform, we track this engagement with engagement value points to drive segmentation, and in our automation campaign we increased her score each time she engaged with our brand. Here we're increasing her engagement score by 20 points before sending her through the remainder of the campaign. So now we've seen how we can automate our communications, listening and reacting across channels. We can enroll subscribers in an automation campaign as soon as the behavior the campaign is listening for is matched. We can tap into the rich analytics data provided by Sitecore Experience Platform across web, email, and marketing automation without the need for complex integrations. Highly targeted and personalized emails can then be triggered to ensure communications are timely and being put in front of your subscriber when your brand is top of mind for them. We can listen and react to the actions your communication is trying to drive to ensure we're moving the subscriber from one goal to the next on their schedule. And we can take behavioral pattern alignment and engagement value updates to the next level, not just by exposing them to the actions and activities of other channels, but also being able to layer in decisioning before making the associations and increasing scores. Now that customers are progressing through your automation campaigns and receiving emails, we of course need to see if they're being effective and driving the conversion of goals and outcomes we've defined. First, let's look at the marketing automation campaign itself. Are we getting enough people into the campaign? Is there a proper distribution across the various paths within the campaign? Do we need to tweak our conditions to adjust these? By flipping over to the report view, we can see how many people are progressing through each path in our marketing automation campaigns. Then at a glance, we can see how many people are currently in a particular stage of the campaign, or effectively our funnel. We can even drill in and see who is in the campaign, or even in a specific stage, and export that list if we wanted to, for example, to target them on social media. We can also look and see the total contacts that have progressed through the campaign and how many have passed through the specific stage. Next, we want to look at the email channel as a whole to see how it's performing across both our scheduled and triggered campaigns. The dashboard shows us key metrics like open, click, unsubscribe, and bounce rates. We can track all the important engagement value to ensure our emails are driving the engagement we want on the website. We can see our top performing campaigns, both from an engagement and value perspective, landing page performance, the locations our subscribers are engaging in down to the city level, and what tech they're viewing their emails on, which can be great for app promotion and knowing where to test our email designs. After looking at the channel as a whole, we'll then want to drill into specific campaigns to see how they're performing individually. Here we can see all that same information and metrics from the channel dashboards, but this time at the individual campaign level. But now we can also see recipient level reports, including what times of day are subscribers opening and clicking, as well as who opened, who clicked, and a number of other key metrics at the subscriber level. Next, we can see who generated what engagement and how long they spent on the site. And finally, we can see how the landing pages, the emails are driving people to are performing. Are they keeping people on the site? And more importantly, converting on goals. Finally, zooming out from email and marketing automation to the source of it all, a single profile for every contact, combining their behavior from email, marketing automation, and the website, from all their various devices, with their profile data and potentially data from other integrated data sources. Here we can see an interactive timeline with every interaction from every channel. For Izzy, this was her first visit when she was on her tablet. She then came back online on her desktop where she subscribed to email. Back on her tablet, she clicked through from an email campaign, triggering the merging of her tablet and desktop profiles into this single view. Then, bringing us up to present day, she came back to the site and registered for an account. We can see a highlights reel of her latest events. Then, under activity, we can see the granular detail of every interaction across the channels and the events that occurred within them. Among other things, we can see which marketing automation campaigns Izzy is progressing through. Then we can see more detail on the profiling and Izzy's association and weightings towards each of our behavioral patterns: on the go, fitness fanatic, and her interest in appliances. Being able to track what's running, what's performing, and what requires attention is critical in refining your automations and communications. We saw how we could monitor our marketing automation campaigns to ensure they're running as expected, getting the predicted volume of subscribers enrolled into them, and they are being correctly distributed amongst the various paths that may exist within the campaign. Then, being able to monitor the email channel as a whole allowed us to not only monitor the key metrics for email performance, but also ensure value is being added to the subscriber interactions and that they're driving goals. Drilling into a campaign then lets us ensure that it's driving the specific effect on subscriber behavior it's targeting, both in the inbox and on the website. And finally, all this activity is recorded against the subscriber's profile, along with their data from their web interactions and any other connected data source, giving you an actionable, unified marketing view of the customer. Thank you for watching this episode of Sitecore in 300 Seconds Plus. I hope this has given you insights into how Sitecore Email Experience Manager and Marketing Automation works and what benefits it can provide to your business.